What if I told you that the person you're jealous of today is only ahead of you because they did one thing you didn't? Sounds unfair, right? But wait, because this is where it gets uncomfortable. Right now, while you're watching somebody else's life, somebody else's success, somebody else's money, somebody else's happiness, something is quietly happening inside your own mind. Something dangerous. Because every second you spend watching them, you're slowly stopping yourself from becoming you. And here's the scary truth, the person you envy isn't sitting there thinking, I hope I stay ahead of him. No. They're too busy working, too busy building, too busy becoming stronger every single day. Meanwhile you're standing still, asking one question. Why them? But the Stoics understood something centuries ago that most people still fail to understand today. Jealousy never steals from the person you envy. It steals from you. Your focus. Your peace. Your energy. Your future. And once you realize what it's secretly taking away from your life every single day, you'll never see it the same way again. If you're ready to stop being jealous and become the person they envy, hit like and subscribe, and let's begin. Most people think jealousy starts when they see somebody richer than them. But that's not where it starts. It starts the moment you stop looking at your own life and start looking at somebody else's. At first it feels harmless. You see somebody becoming successful. You see somebody making money. You see somebody getting attention. You see somebody living the life you wish you had. And suddenly a small voice appears inside your mind. Why not me? One question. Just one question. That's all it takes. Because now something starts changing. Slowly. Quietly. You stop focusing on yourself. You start focusing on them. You stop building. You start watching. You stop improving. You start comparing. And that's where everything starts becoming dangerous. Because jealousy never comes alone. It brings frustration. It brings anger. It brings insecurity. It brings self-doubt. Suddenly you wake up every day and instead of thinking, how can I become better? You start thinking, why are they better? Huge difference. Massive difference. Because one question creates winners. And the other creates victims. Winners look at successful people and think, what can I learn? Jealous people look at successful people and think, why do they have what I don't? One person becomes stronger. The other becomes bitter. One person builds their future. The other person watches someone else's future being built. And the scary part is, most people never realize this is happening. Because jealousy doesn't destroy people in one day. It destroys them slowly. Thought by thought. Day by day. Week by week. While they're scrolling. While they're comparing. While they're watching everybody else. It quietly steals their focus. And focus is everything. Because where your focus goes, your life follows. And that's exactly what most people never understand. They think focus is just attention. No. Focus is life. Because whatever you focus on every single day, slowly becomes your reality. Focus on problems, and life starts feeling heavy. Focus on excuses, and life starts feeling impossible. Focus on other people, and you slowly disappear. Think about this. Imagine carrying a bucket of water every day. And every few minutes, somebody punches a tiny hole in it. One small hole. Then another. Then another. At first you don't notice anything. Everything looks normal. But after some time, the bucket becomes lighter. Then lighter. Then completely empty. That's jealousy. It doesn't steal everything at once. It steals little pieces of you every single day. A little peace today. A little confidence tomorrow. A little focus next week. A little motivation next month. Until one day, you wake up and ask yourself, what happened to me? Because now every successful person annoys you. Every happy person irritates you. Every winner feels like an enemy. But here's the truth. They're not your enemy. They never were. You're fighting a battle inside your own mind. And here's another truth nobody wants to hear. The people you're jealous of are not special. They're not superhuman. They don't have extra hours in a day. They don't wake up with secret powers. They simply made a decision. While everybody else was watching, they were working. While everybody else was comparing, they were improving. While everybody else was complaining, they stayed focused. That's it. Nothing magical. Just focus. Just discipline. Just consistency. Day after day. Week after week. Month after month. And slowly something happened. Small actions became big results. Small improvements became a different life. While everybody else kept looking outside, they kept working inside. And that's where things start changing forever. Because here's what nobody tells you. The person you're jealous of today was probably invisible once. Nobody noticed them. Nobody respected them. Nobody cared about them. They probably failed. Again. And again. And again. They probably doubted themselves. They probably wanted to quit. They probably looked in the mirror and wondered if they were good enough. But they kept moving. One step. Then another step. Then another. Not because they always felt motivated. Not because life was easy. But because they understood something most people never understand. Progress beats comparison. Every single time. Because comparison steals action. And action changes lives. Imagine two people planting seeds. The first person plants the seed. Waters it every day. Protects it. Takes care of it. The second person plants a seed too. But every day he keeps looking at the first person's plant. Why is his growing faster? Why is his bigger? Why does his look better? And while he's busy staring at somebody else's plant, he forgets to water his own. Days pass. Weeks pass. Months pass. Then one day he looks down and says, "Why didn't mine grow?" Sounds ridiculous, right? But people do this every single day with their lives. They stop taking care of their own growth. Because they're too busy measuring somebody else's. And then they blame life. They blame luck. They blame circumstances. They blame everyone except themselves. But deep inside, they already know the truth. They stopped showing up. They stopped improving. They stopped building. Because watching became easier than working. Comparing became easier than changing. And that's why average people stay average. Not because they lack talent. Not because they lack intelligence. But because they lack focus. Because every time life told them to build themselves, they looked somewhere else. And every time they looked somewhere else, they lost another piece of themselves. And that's the moment most people lose years of their lives. Not days. Not weeks. Years. Because once comparison becomes a habit, it starts controlling everything. You walk into a room, and compare. You open your phone, and compare. You see somebody successful, and compare. You see somebody happier, and compare. You see somebody stronger, and compare. Slowly your brain becomes trapped. You stop seeing opportunities. You start seeing competition. You stop seeing lessons. You start seeing threats. You stop seeing inspiration. You start seeing enemies. And now something strange happens. You become tired, and then one day, without even realizing it, you look back at your life. And something hits you. The people you once envied. The people you once watched. The people you once compared yourself to. No longer control your mind. No longer control your emotions. No longer control your life. Because now, you're finally focused on your own path. You're finally running your own race. You're finally building your own future. And that's the moment jealousy dies. Because now, you became the person you were chasing all along. If this video opened your eyes even a little bit, then don't scroll away yet. Because I want you to do one thing right now. Comment, "I choose my own path," and make a promise to yourself today. Stop watching other people. Start building yourself. And if you want more powerful Stoic wisdom that helps you become stronger, smarter, and impossible to ignore, hit like. Subscribe, and join this journey. Because the next video might be the one that completely changes your life.